Once again, we're back, and Jay, I apologize for cutting you off. We're so intrigued with what we're talking about that we didn't realize we needed to take a break. So we kept on talking, but coming back and talking about fiduciaries and why they're so important.
Yeah, we were talking about picking a fiduciary, and fiduciaries are really, in the estate planning context, are going to be personal representatives, people that handle your estate after your death.
Okay.
And then powers of attorney, which may be someone who manages your affairs during life, either during disability or just somebody that you want to handle your affairs during your lifetime.
Is a fiduciary in reference to finances specifically, or it can be?
You know, that's a good question. A personal representative, which is a fiduciary, and a trustee, which is a fiduciary, and a power of attorney, which is a fiduciary, all can manage finances for an individual or in an estate context. So that's a piece of it. There's finances, and then we've talked before about with a power of attorney, it may be the power over the body and the care of the body, which would be health care issues, and then there's the care of the finances, which is a separate issue. But they can be combined under the same person. But picking those individuals, which you bring up a good point there, is you may want someone to manage your finances and a different person to manage your health care.
Okay.
It's common in estate planning for possibly a parent to say, you know, I really want this daughter or son because they're more of an emotional type person and a touchy-feely type person to manage my health care. Or they may say, no, I don't want that person because I want someone that's more a matter of fact, that's going to do what I want to do. And so it's a catch-22 with the health care. But you want to pick the person that best fits your circumstances. I tell people when they're picking healthcare power of attorney, certainly you're going to pick someone you trust.
Sure.
But pick someone that's going to do what you want done. And
who
that's
listens.
The reason, and that's going to do
their goals,
what you do, what you want done, regardless of what they want done themselves, because you're going to enunciate that in your documentation. And the same thing with regard to your finances and the care of your assets. You want to pick someone who's going to manage that properly. Now, in some contexts, you won't be able to choose a family member maybe. It may be appropriate to choose someone, it may be a bank or some other financial institution to be a trustee. Sometimes that has to do with the amount of the assets, or it may be that the family dynamics are such that it's a second marriage, or there may be children that don't get along, or a second spouse and the children that don't get along, and so you need an independent player to manage those things so that if someone's going to be mad, they can be mad at the trustee and not be mad at the family member, so you can still have your family gatherings at Christmas time and Thanksgiving, and you can talk bad about the trustee.
Exactly, there you go. Exactly. Well, you were talking, going back to fiduciaries, you were saying that oftentimes I want someone who's looking out for my best interests specifically.
Yes. And that's the definition, the layman's definition of a fiduciary. A fiduciary is someone who steps into your shoes for your care, whether it be of your finances or your health care, for your best interest.
As opposed to what? That's what I would assume everyone would be doing.
Well, there's a big debate now, and this is not something that I deal with because I'm not providing financial advice to clients, but in the financial world, there are financial advisors that do give a role as fiduciary and working in your best interest, and there's some that do not have to work in your best interest. That's not to say they're working against you.
No.
But they may sell you a product that may not be in your best interest, but it may be okay for you, but it's not necessarily in your best interest.
It's almost a moral value kind of decision.
It is a lot.
Or at least education, knowing enough to ask the darn question.
Right.
Sure. And back to another point is that spouses frequently come in, deal with estate planning together. And that's a common thing. Whether it's a second marriage or not, as long as they're on the same playing field and page with what regard they're going to do. But choosing the fiduciary may be different for each.
Oh, I never
Opposites attract. And so the husband may want one particular thing, the wife may want a different thing with regard to who is going to manage their affairs. So it doesn't have to be the same person.
Is that part of the role you play in helping them kind of bridge that gap, for lack of a better word?
We discuss it, sure. I commonly get this after a discussion. They say, well, that's something I never thought of.
Right.
Well, that's why I'm there, is to bring up things that maybe you haven't processed yet, because I'm thinking of all types of hypotheticals and things we've been through before that you may face, and we want to prepare for what may come up.
I tell you, as we're talking, time goes so quickly. We're going to have to take a quick break again.
Sure.
So stay with us. We'll be right back.